During the time I've been flying fighter kites, I have had many kites damaged. I damaged them, not intentionally, but because I didn't realize where the weak points or the vulnerable points are on the kite. I now do. So those points I reinforce on every kite I make. And I want to share that with you because it will save you from the grief that I experienced in losing a kite from no real reason other than the fact it wasn't reinforced properly. The first place is right where the bow and the leading edge of the nose meet, right here. This is a very vulnerable place because when the bow snaps, it can, if not reinforced, it can cause a tear in the sail material, depending on the material. I use polyfilm for the most part, and so it's vulnerable to that damage. I put a piece of tape there. That's all you need to do. Put a little piece of tape, doesn't have to be much, and that'll prevent the damage that otherwise might occur. Another place are the wing tips themselves. Now on the wing tip, you wouldn't think it would be vulnerable to damage, but what can happen is your line can get caught right at the point where the bow meets the sail on the trailing edge. And when it does, it might slice right through the sail material, depending again on the material you use. So this is a place I always reinforce. I also reinforce and try to stiffen the area between the bow and the nose leading edge. I do that by either gluing or taping a separate piece onto the sail, or I make the sail larger and use the line for the nose leading edge as a fold line and fold over the excess and glue it down or tape it down. This is an area of the kite that gets an awful lot of abuse from the wind. The nose is especially vulnerable because, well, I often crash kites. I have learned that I can reduce the intensity of the crash, so I do, but they still crash, and the nose gets damaged easily. So I make sure that it's reinforced and usually put a piece of tape that will go from the back side over and around to the front. The same as with the tail. The trailing edge of the kite gets a lot of flutter, and the tail, if not piece of tape around and onto the sail from the back of the spine, it can come loose, and when that happens, the kite won't fly well. So those are the points of vulnerability that need to be addressed